So way back in the day, I used to have a job at a company. I'm not gonna disclose what sort of a company or what sort of work I did because that's personal, that's private. But I do want to say one thing in that regard, and that is I enjoyed working there a lot, and I enjoyed working there so much because I had a large degree of freedom relative to the pay. The pay was actually good if you factor in the tasks that were required and the level of freedom that was given to us. And colleagues were nice, our managers were nice, everything was pretty much nice about it. And actually, at times, I was wondering if people had actually forgotten that I exist because so little happened. But then other times, I just couldn't catch a breath because I was under so much, well, not so much stress, but people were just approaching me left and right with stuff that they needed to get done, and it felt like I was buried in work. It felt like I was drowning in work. And actually, and this is very, very important, it so happened that certain times during the afternoons and even late evenings, I was requested to do some work outside hours. I could have said no and quoted some law paragraph that said that any employer can't force, or no employer can actually force their employees to work outside of hours. That's illegal. I could also have used the very same paragraph and said that, yeah, but that means that I'm writing overtime hours, etc., etc. I didn't either. I happily obliged, and I helped out my manager or my colleague or whoever needed the help that they needed to get whatever tasks that they had outstanding to be completed right there and then, without question. I actually, even at times, brought with me home my work computer. Actually, I did that a lot because there was always this sort of like this inherent expectation and this cultural understanding that you could receive some sort of request late at night to work on something that needed to be done very, 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 or that needed to be finished early in the morning the following day. And so, even if that didn't apply to me as much, it's still, I still was asked at times to work, and I did so happily. Like I said, without question, without any requirement, without any conditions. I just did it out of my generosity, I guess, out of my own good heart, out of the goodness of my heart, right? And why? Because I like working so much for the company that I felt obliged in a way. I felt the reciprocal need to compensate for the salary that I received, even if that meant working outside of hours at times, because I liked being there so much. Listen, this company was actually great. They even, listen, I usually couldn't spend time with my daughter on her birthday. Literally every single year I needed to be somewhere when it was her birthday. But then one year I kindly asked my boss, and guess what? The company actually paid for a flight that day so that I could go and visit my daughter and spend time with her on her birthday. That was huge. That was big. And so that's the reason why I didn't have any problems at all working outside of hours for free without pay. Now think about what you can do to make customers yearn to spend and invest their hard-earned money on you by giving them something that they need and want and giving them an experience. Delivering superior service. Servicing their needs. Listening to them. Genuinely understanding how you can improve their lives. Think about that, and people will literally open up their wallets. Do that, understand that, and watch what that does to your piggy bank and your bank account. If you want to learn more about persuasion, especially from a business perspective, then get subscribed to my email list. The link to this is always in the episode description wherever you're watching or listening to this, and I'll see you there.